Okay, recording this video after close trade Wednesday, 1st of April 2015. I hope you had a great day's trading today. So, just quickly, yesterday, instead of doing a normal kind of video and putting it up on the website, I did a Google Hangouts on Air instead, which was a real-time video stream that was broadcasting live to YouTube and Google Plus after the close yesterday. Did it as a kind of experiment. I've tried it once before and the screen quality wasn't any good, so this time I kind of changed the resolution on my charts, and I think it kind of went pretty well. It was interesting. I thought the sound quality was poorer than these normal kind of recordings, but the video quality wasn't too bad. So we'll see. I think real-time video broadcasting is going to become bigger and bigger, and it's kind of a handy little application within Google Plus. So an experiment. Tell me what you thought. If you kind of thought the quality was any good, or it kind of made more sense to do as a live recording through YouTube. Just be interested in your thoughts. Anyway, so I've been wittering on and on and on about this pullback to end of trend on the 45-minute chart and the 40,500 tip bar chart, and what do you know? Even with the volatility that we had, the extreme volatility over really the last few days, finally this thing's gone off. So here's the 45-minute chart, pullback to end of trend. Bingo. And I said it would come with flush patterns, and there we go, flush patterns, blue professional down bars. We had an awesome little kind of setup short first thing this morning, a really beautiful kind of trending move. I'll tag on that trade today. But this does kind of put things in a little bit of context. So this last move, pull back to end of trend, bottom the move down here in the 30s, and we've kind of raced up. We had this complex correction on the way up. Now we've had a trending move on the way down, pull back to end of trend, exhaustion sell, flush patterns, blue professional down bars, and we're breaking back, and the end of trend seems to be holding. It's an absolutely critical level. Whether we'll hold for just a couple of days or kind of longer term, I don't know. But this 2040 level and this level here is absolutely critical. I'll talk about the Forex charts at the end of this video. So the same pattern, because the 45-minute chart is very similar to the 40,500 tip bar chart, went off here. Pullback to dirty end of trend. Remember, because the pullback level got violated, kind of got broken above, I don't normally print an end of trend signal there, but that's what I call a dirty end of trend. Exactly the same thing. Exhaustion sell, bullish divergence on the zero line, so wait for a flush, bang, there's the flush. And this is the activity that we had overnight leading into, well, it was the close on Tuesday after hours. We had a massive sell-off. And it's interesting that the rally that we had on the Sunday night that kind of led to this kind of explosive move was driven by China and the Chinese government talking about easing. And then overnight what we had was a good Chinese PMI number, and so easing might not be on the cards if things are kind of strengthening in China, so the market sells off. So it's all driven by actually reaction to what the central banks are likely to do in these different countries. It's sickening, but that's what we're reading. We're just reading the tea leaves when it comes out of the central banks. That is what the market is. So pull back to end of trend, flush patterns, and then a couple of nice blue professional bars during today's activity on the 40,500. The lows of these have held. We broke into the upside and so on. So that's kind of important for kind of bottoming this thing. But the activity this morning first thing was a beauty in terms of a setup to the downside. So here's the 1500 tip bar chart, pull back to end of trend into the open here. This is the open at 8:30. All these blue professional bars, exhaustion buy, and then as soon as we break through a support level on this time frame, bang, into this super little kind of trending move on the downside. And it was probably almost about 15 points. I didn't realize it was that big of a move, but anyway, bottomed with pullback to end of trend after our exhaustion sell, bullish divergence and flush pattern kind of going on here, and then we went for a little bit of a rally until we got into trouble on the upside here and tested those lows again. So this was important on the 500 tip bar chart. You can see we had exhaustion before the open, and then we played around with some cyclical patterns, and as soon as this thing kind of broke down, we were gone on the downside. And on the 4500 tip bar chart, we were just playing under resistance. That's why all this kind of thing kind of set up so beautifully. I must admit, I was late for this. Dumb. Had a dreadful night here. We left the front door screen open, so we had a bunch of mosquitoes here all night, so we both slept incredibly poorly. So I kind of missed the open. Anyway, got in for this retrace here and got short at 52.25. I'll tag on this trade, moved the target out for 6 on the way down here. It was a nice little trade, got out with pro signal exits kind of down here. Anyway, on the 1500 tip bar chart, pro signal exits here. So, where are we going? Well, there's a couple of things going on. First of all, we're into a seasonal pattern that is pretty strong. This is the seasonality indicator here. So first of all, we had the first of the month today. We got new money rolling into around the end of the month. The transition from the end of the month to the first couple of days of the month is usually pretty strong because we have equity inflows from all the mutual funds, the 401ks, all of that kind of money kind of rolls in. And so first of the month's important. We're also coming up to Easter, coming up to a holiday, so it tends to be bullish. People are kind of in a good mood and so on. So obviously we've got 1 day's trading before Friday, where we've got a day off on Friday. I think we're going to have a bit of a bust out kind of move tomorrow. So we've got this seasonal pattern that is strong coming into this sell-off at tax time, so this V reversal that we get around tax time. So I think we're going to have a little bit of strength leading into that, but then once that kind of the timing of this kind of comes in early next week, it's going to be really interesting to see how this kind of plays out, because what I'm seeing on the Forex charts has me really worried. I don't know. I think Forex is all going to change and turn almost all simultaneously against the US dollar. It has not happened yet. I put up a Google Plus on Sunday, Monday, just talking about the British pound. British pound is just itching to bust up through this big blue professional rangy bar here, spiky bar. This was the FOMC day. You can see, obviously the move in the dollar index has been massive on the upside, but we have reached some kind of extreme. $1.50 pound versus USD is a really important level, kind of going back many years. So we're playing around that. Any bust up, to 150 will just take us straight out of this blue professional bar and into a change of trend or a medium kind of move to the upside. What we've got in the background is pullback to dirty end of trend. We've got exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, flush patterns here, and that big blue professional rangy bar, which was the FOMC bar. So we're playing with the highs and lows of that. We come back in today kind of to test even lower into those, and it's just winding up. We're just doing nothing, waiting for something, and I'm just wondering if we're just going to bust to the upside. If you look at all the other currencies, they're similarly trying to find a little bit of a support at the area at the moment. So Aussie dollar coming back to 76s, exhaustion sell kind of down here. It's kind of the weakest of these charts, but again we're kind of in that kind of blue ranging kind of activity there, so that's kind of important. Dollar index, we're sitting just above now cyclical support on the daily charts, kind of gone off, and there's that FOMC day, which is just mental. So we've kind of come down a little bit, come back a little bit, breaking out of that's important. If we break through that support in the next couple of days, that'll take us into a downtrend on the dollar index, and that'll be a kind of a show that we could get kind of a little bit of a move out of equities in the US and kind of move out of dollar assets. Euro, not as pretty a move. The end of trend's kind of gone off here, but it's a flush pattern down here. There's all that blue professional down bar activity there. It's just itching for a little bit of a triangle kind of breakout there. Canadian dollar, Canadian Aussie are kind of usually move together, but the Canadian's been relatively stronger than the Aussie over the last few days. So pull back to dirty end of trend. There's that FOMC big kind of spiky day, and then we came back and test the lows, kind of bounce off that. A little bit of strength today, and again we're just sitting in the middle of that zone. Japanese yen, Rambo patterns kind of down here, like we had here. There's that rangy bar kind of FOMC day, kind of back there. We're sitting underneath resistance. We've been sitting in consolidation for a while, and I'm just wondering, are we just going to get that punch up through resistance on these time frames, and then kind of takes us into a medium-term kind of move against the US dollar and into all of these currencies. So because there's seemingly a little bit of weakness in dollar index, we're getting a little bit of strength in some of the things that are priced in dollar USD. So for example, gold today was really strong. We've been trying to find this bottom, 1150, blue professional bar here. We're stuck underneath this one, which kind of gave way at resistance. The silver chart actually is showing a little bit kind of a stronger pattern here, where Rambo patterns flush kind of down here, and this is the kind of breakout bar. Kind of got stopped at this resistance at this point, but then we're coming back. So that kind of little sequence there, again, a break above resistance on this daily chart would take us into a trend move there. The other one is crude. and crude on the downside. Big activity today after an exhaustion pattern and Rambo kind of coming together. That's unstable, so that's the amateurs all kind of rushing to get short, with crude saying, it's going to collapse. We had all these news stories a week ago saying crude's going to $20, blah blah blah. So we've got some blue professional bars come in there. We could get kind of a spike above that resistance level, which is a pullback level kind of going on there. So a lot of these things that are priced in USD are starting to get some strength, because the US dollar might be starting to weaken. And so I see all of that kind of happening together. We've got the currencies starting to move. We're going to get a little bit of strength in equities, maybe for a day, maybe for a day or two, but then that tax time seasonal pattern is going to play in, and then we've got this kind of move in the forex kind of happening together. So all of that is basically selling off of US equities, money moving into US bonds, money coming out of the US dollar and moving into these other kind of currencies. So it's interesting, but the timing of that, kind of how it kind of plays out, I think we're going to see a little bit of a spike first because of this seasonal pattern, because of Easter, because we put in this pullback to end of trend kind of move to stop this to the downside at 2040. If overnight we just give up the ghost and rocket through 2040 to the downside, then it's all over, Red Rover. But I don't think that's the case, because we've got this money coming in from the beginning of the month. We've got this kind of pattern that's seemingly bottomed us. Whoops, just moved the end of trend. Seemingly kind of bottomed us kind of down here at the moment. So it's fascinating stuff.
Okay, just got short 52 1/4, short 52 1/4. Check my stops and targets. Really should have been into this earlier, but I was not at my desk. So overnight we had this incredible move down, come back up into that breakdown level, and resistance come in. A whole bunch of blue professional bars pre-open, not unusual. On the 1500 tip bar chart was pull back into trend and exhaustion, and then on the 500 exhaustion and these little pushes up, finally kind of gives way, bang, and we're collapsing into a downtrend. So this has got to go on resistance to support. This has got to go pull back end of trend. Just moving the target. Alright, moving the target out 46 1/4. 48 1/4. I just got heads bouncing, exhaustion sell. Whoa. Bingo, taken out. 46 1/4. Excellent for 6. That was fast when it collapsed. Whoa. Now, a bunch of blue professional bars, pro signal exit just gone off here. Cyclical support at some point, it's got to be put in pullback to end trend. Yeah, it's heading down. It was a nice swift move, so it's kind of good. That's kind of area out, but we're obviously traveling further. Alright, not bad. Okay, just got short 45 even, short 45 even. Check my stops and targets. Gonna leave that one where it is for the time being. Reason for getting short, there's more ins on the downside, and just want to see the pullback end of trend kind of go off. I've had exhaustion, pro signal exit, and bullish divergence on the zero line, so we've got to go see something like a flush. Okay, it's trying to find this low pullback end of trend, but let's just run out the clock, just see where it goes. Where's this? 43s. Okay, blue professional down bar. Just out 42.50. Oh, and just for 2.5, it'll probably run to the 41, but there we go. God damn it. Just need a little bit more patience there. 41 just got hit. Damn it. That's looking like a flush kind of reading out here, but I'm just jumping out that rainbow pattern still. There's just a little bit trigger happy pullback and a trend. It's actually no blue professional bars kind of come off here. There's none on there. There's one here. Damn it. Anyway,